Let's meet our officials for this match. Our first referee, Erlindo Eusebio, National Referee. Our second referee, Mark Santos, National Referee. And now the starters. First, for the Chery Tiggo Crossovers. Middle blocker from De La Salle University, number 2, team captain, Abby Maranyo. Center from the National University, number 4, Jasmine Nabor. Opposite hitter from Adamson University, number 7, Mylene Pat. Outside spiker from the University of Santo Tomas, number 8, Aya Laure. Outside spiker from La Salle, number 10, Ara Gala. Middle blocker from the Far Eastern University, number 16, Zakaranda. Starting libero from NU, number 19, Jen Nierva. Head coach for the Crossovers is Emilio Kung Fu Reyes. And now the starters for the Petro Gazz Angels. Middle blocker for the Far Eastern University, number 9, team captain, Rem Palma. Center from the College of St. Benil, number 2, Janelle Chang. Opposite hitter from the University of Santo Tomas, number 8, Isa Maizo Pontillas. Outside spiker from the University of Hawaii, number 10, Brooke Van Sickle. Middle blocker from Juniata College, number 13, MJ Phillips. Outside spiker from Bulacan State University, number 20, Jonas Sabete. Starting libero from UST, number 22, Baby Love Barbon. Head coach for the Angels is Koji Tsuzurabara. This game is held under the supervision and regulation of the Games and Amusements Board. It is Chery Tiggo versus Petro Gazz. This is the PVL. The
starting lineup slightly tweaked by Coach Kung Fu Reyes as Jasmine Nabor and Mylene Pat will not come off the bench today and will start here in the opening set. 1 and 7 points respectively, Nabor, Paat in the last game. Meanwhile, Coach Koji Tsuzurabara, no change whatsoever. Last game, that was obviously a painful loss against the Flying Titans. They were led by the 21 of Van Sickle, followed by the 14 of Isa Maizo Pontillas. And I was speaking to PVL chairman Tony Liao, and he said that the lineup of the Crossovers right from the start of the season included Jaja Santiago. Yes. And had they made it to the finals, she could have seen action. He's not confirming if she would have, but she's not going to play today.
Yeah, she will not play. And we did see pictures and videos online that she's back. So we're all happy that she's here watching and supporting her team.
All right, set number 1 is underway, and Rem Palma gets us going with the first point of the opening set.
Well, we know Remy Palma, this is her classic running attack. We love seeing the Chang and Palma connection, going for that strong tip in the middle.
Palma coming off a 6-point performance. This is a third meeting between these two teams in the All-Filipino Conference. The first meeting was won by the Crossovers in 5. And then they met in the semifinals, won by the Angels in 4.
In 4 sets, just last week.
Just last week, exactly.
So by now, Eric, these teams know the patterns, the tendencies, but let's see who can rise above in this match today.
Cheng with the underhand pass. Pontillas going cross-court and in between the legs of Coach Kung Fu Reyes.
A little overcooked in that sequence by Isa, but Eric, you did ask earlier during the pregame. Of course, the motivation is a bit different now that they are not playing in the finals, but of course, this is a commitment that they have. You're on a team, so I'm sure you want to end on a high note. Nice set.
Pontillas, back-to-back attack faults for Isa Maizo Pontillas.
That's another overcooked attack. Lefty coming from the right pin this time. Still warming up, I guess.
So 2 easy points for the Crossovers. Their first point coming from that lady who just served Araganang first attack point, first and only attack point as Van Sickle. This is 3 straight attack faults for the Angels, Jamie.
These are early unforced errors so far, miss hits as well. You can see the Petro Gazz Angels still trying to get their groove, maybe waking up still.
4-1 start for the Crossovers. This is also a best-of-3 matchup. Palma with her second point and a second as well for the Angels.
That's Remy Palma with a B quick attack. Chang starting her off in that first attack. Great receive as well. You could see that the vibe is also kind of chill with both teams as well.
You saw Coach Koji smiling as Ea Laure knocks it in.
It's a combination play ran by their setter who is starting today, Jasmine Nabor. Combination play, that is a B3 combination play, but Ea, we know that there's so much firepower coming from her attack.
But Ea Laure, one of the few games she only scored in single digits. That loss against the Cool Smashers where she only put up 8 points. Meantime, Sapete, this is one of her best seasons so far. A full season, scoring almost consistently in double digits.
And Eric, not only consistently, but this is probably the most healthy that we've seen her play. And she knows that she's trusted by all of her teammates.
Palma in her first season as the team captain of the Angels with a good serve. Yerba passes. Eileen Pat got it. Let's check in courtside with Kyla Castillo.
Eric and Jamie, us Filipinos take pride in our fighting spirit. Laban kung laban. But I want to talk more about the Japanese samurai spirit na itinutugo daw ni Coach Koji ngayon sa Petro Gazz Angels. Sa 4 na buwang magkakasama sila, he's taught them that whenever they're faced with challenges, just remember that they are not just players, they are challengers equipped with samurai spirit. Alam nyo, this teaches the players daw to just change the mind. Anong ibig sabihin nito? Kapag daw tinatanong siya ng players, Coach, how can I improve? He simply answers, change the mind. Because this change or shift can ultimately lead to improvement. Coach Koji also told me that he's more than proud of the progress that they've made as a team and said that this is only the beginning for the Angels. This report is brought to you by the Pilipinas Live app. Download and subscribe now for only 149 pesos per month. Now back to you, Eric and Jamie.
All right, thank you, Kyla.
Thank you for that. Something new.
Yeah, mental aspect of playing under Coach Koji Tsurabara as Jasmine Nabor with her first point.
That is a smart play coming from Jasmine Nabor. An easy, quick side out, but we'll head to a technical timeout.
Arena Plus, Astig sa Sports, Coach Kung Fu Reyes. And the rest of the Crossovers looking for their first third-place finish. And that's going to be just their second podium finish, because prior to that, their only podium finish was a championship. So not too bad, not too shabby in the Open Conference of 2021. But right now, Angels down by 4. A couple of points coming from Sapete.
Sabeta breaking that block of Abby Marano and Jasmine Nabor. Also perfect set coming from Janelle Chang. You could see that block of Chery Tiggo. There's no unison and no sequence in that sequence. There's no sequence in that sequence.
Nabor running attack for Maraño, partially dug by Tempiatura, but it was out of control.
Now, Eric, these are smart plays coming from Jasmine Nabor, activating that middle blocker early on, going for that reverse set, running attack. Of course, that is the specialty coming from Abby Maraño, that running.
Meanwhile, MJ Phillips coming in for the first time for the Angels. Karandang also coming in. There's a nice hit. Phillips right on cue.
I mean, the speed, that short running attack coming from MJ.
That spike of the set brought to you by Duncan. Pasalubong ng Bayan.
You can see that she's much faster than her usual. Of course, coming from Korea, that Korea stint helping the Angels.
Cheng. They got to Van Sickle. One-handed dig coming from Laure. Galang did a good job not touching the net. There's a block by Karandang. Van Sickle off speed, got it.
You could see that Van Sickle was not in the right timing in that sequence. Laure miscue here on the side of the Chery Tiggo Crossovers. But the Petro Gazz Angels being very reactive as well. Miley Pat as well.
Van Sickle, 27 and 21 points in the two meetings between these two teams. Bad pass coming from Aragalang.
MJ Phillips switching it up now, going to zone 5 for that serve.
3-point run for the Angels. Sparked by the entry of MJ Phillips. Timeout here for Coach Kung Fu Reyes. We'll listen to the crossovers.
Ano yung trabaho mo? Huwag mo kang pakialaman yun sa iba. Lalo lang tayo napapahamak eh. Kanya-kanya tayong area of responsibility. Nagsabihan na kita kanina. Ang dali-dali na ng bola, namamatay dahil sa maling galaw. Naiintindihan mo ba? Yung pinakasimple lang ang gawin natin. Nakuha, kasi napakasimple. Doon tayo nadadali. Na supposedly, hindi na sa'yo, may tao tayo dyan. Ang alalayan nyo yung pwesto nyo. Okay, para hindi tayo naliligaw o isang bola.
Okay, malalante. Chery, 5!
May isang daang taon laban para sa bayan. Let's celebrate and cheer for our Filipino athletes as they represent our country in the 2024 Paris Olympics.
That timeout of Coach Kung Fu, he was very frustrated. He was saying that the crossovers are not getting the easy pickups.
And
A lot of
they continue to struggle with the pickups, as you put it, Jamie. Van Sickle, now with back-to-back points after struggling with her first few touches.
Well, the Chery Tiggo Crossovers, this is not their usual play. Silly mistakes, I would say, coming from the crossovers, but Brooke Van Sickle yet again breaking that block of Chery.
From down 4, the Angels have managed to tie, but only for a moment after Phillips serves into the net.
That's a lucky break for the Chery Tiggo Crossovers.
Jasmine Nabor. Yeah, a lot of times she's been injured in this season. Rarely saw action. Sabete, short pass. Van Sickle looking for point number 3, and not that time.
But you can see Cheng. Oh, they are.
Wait a minute.
Yes, there's a check.
Yeah, one referee, one lines judge said there was a check ball. The other said none. But Erlindo Eusebius will go with the check ball call. So we're tied at 10. Better pass from the middle. Aragalang knocks it in.
See Chery Tiggo now going for more combination plays. Slowly warming up here in this first set. Perfect receive also coming from Laure. But I think, Eric, the Chery Tiggo Crossovers need to do more of those combination plays just to boost their own momentum.
Aragalang struggled against the Cool Smashers, only scored 2 points. In fact, none of the crossovers scored in double digits against Valdez and the Cool Smashers. A nice shot by Van Sickle for her 4th point.
That is too much firepower from Brooke, now coming from that right in this specific rotation. But Jen Yerba was there for that down the line. Too much juice in that attack for Jen.
Tied again. This is deadlock number 4. Short pass coming from Laure. She gets it back. One-handed dig for Van Sickle. Palma plays setter. Nice job, Mylene Pat, sending it over on the first touch. Puntillas rejected by Ea
Laure Karandang, knowing that Janelle Chang will go for Maiza coming from this right pin. We all know Chang going for that reverse set, but perfect press this time. In-game adjustments are needed for the Chery Tiggo Crossovers.
That's point number 2 for Ea. Puntillas got a little help from the net.
Yep, and this is what Coach Kung Fu was saying during those timeouts. These are the easy pickups. It was evident that Maiza was trapped in that sequence, forced to go for that sharp cross-court attack. But Bad not ready.
Bad, her first game back, she didn't play in their semis meeting. Pat attacking through the double block.
Of course, we know Mylene Pa and Jasmine Nabor, we know this tandem has been working, but Mylene Pa also breaking that open space, finding that open space in between that block of MJ Phillips.
Paat scoring 10 in their preliminary round meeting. That was way back in late March. Nerva, Nabor sets it up for Ea. And it's a net touch going to be called on MJ Phillips.
She admits to her net touch. 3-point goes to Chery Tiggo.
Quick whistle by second referee Mark Santos. There's the touch right there.
Right.
And this time, I believe a timeout called by Coach Koji Tsuzurabara.
One more catch, catch. It's okay, big catch. Your work. Okay. Blocking, blocking. Okay, more. Today. Yeah. So. Okay.
Let's go!
Let's go.
Hey, one stop! Petro Gazz Angels!
Brace yourselves as athletes and sports lovers have a no-holds-barred conversation with Sean Ildefonso. Watch Showtime exclusive on Pilipinas Live. Download and subscribe now. 2-point deficit against Sapete and the Angels. They led by just 1 point, but they were down by 4 before they made a 4-point run upon the entry of MJ Phillips. Ea Laure off speed, dug by Cheng. Barbon sets it up for Puntillas. Nerva picking it up. Here comes Laure again. Yes!
Now that is a high set coming from Ave Maranhão, and you could see that mid-air, Ea Laure switched her body, went for that pivot down the line.
Ea Laure, such a prolific attacker.
Very crafty as well.
You can set it any way you want. Even if it's not to her liking, she'll find a way to hit it.
She's not a choosy spiker.
Yeah. So, oh, what a dig there coming from Jen Nerva. Mylene Pat, yes!
This is all teamwork now that we're seeing from the Chery Tiggo Crossovers. Beautiful dig.
4-0 run here, Jamie, by the Crossovers, taking us to our second technical timeout. Awesome live sports viewing is guaranteed with Signal yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Switch now and get up to 3 months with no cash out. Visit signal.tv/switch for more details. You're looking at the winners of the PVL sweepstakes promo. All access pass for today's games, tickets. You can visit the production room, the OB van, and also have some time with the teams. And that's not just these two teams, but the teams playing in the gold medal match as well later on.
How exciting for the
Very
fans,
exciting.
of course.
And we met them earlier at the production room, and I mean, all smiles.
Yes, from ear to ear. Yep.
Meantime, the crowd roaring because they see Chisayat, more importantly, Myla Pablo in the game for the first time. And remember, Myla Pablo, her image weeping with tears in her eyes after losing in the semis. I mean, made the rounds of social media platforms. A lot of the fans feeling the pain she felt not being able to contribute in that losing effort against the Flying Titans.
And Eric, that just shows the passion from the players. Of course, it was such an emotional roller coaster for all the teams, I would say, specifically these two teams that didn't make the finals.
Barbon pops it up. Saed. They go to Phillips. And it's dug by Paat. Here comes Galang. Sabete sends it outside.
There's a lack of wrist action coming from that attack of Jonas Sabete, but you can see the Chery Tiggo Crossovers more reactive. They're slowly waking up here in this first set.
6-1 run right now for the Crossovers. We'll listen into this huddle by Coach Koji.
Sige, back to basic volleyball muna tayo.
Good job. After spike up, follow. It's okay. Use the time offense. Time offense. Okay.
Start with
It's
a
okay.
good pass.
Slowly. Sam, don't forget the smile.
Yes!
Don't forget
Wow! Petro Gazz Angels!
Ivy Hernandez.
Of course, supporting the Chery Tiggo Crossovers. We're awaiting for her to return as well.
Knee injury for Ivy Hernandez, former Tigress. Meantime, this is the biggest lead for Ea Laude, and the Crossovers. They're up by 5 points. Saed. They go to Myla Pablo. Good looking shot, just went wide.
See Myla Pablo trying to target that sharp cross court attack, a little overcooked in that sequence. But usually, Eric, when you have a double sub, we're coming off the bench, they have a different perspective. So let's see how this will manage.
Well, check out this statistic. That's just the second error for the Crossovers. Meanwhile, the Angels have 9 errors.
Wow. It's already too many unforced errors, and this is only the first set.
Yep. So almost half of the points of the Crossovers coming from freebies. Make that 10 now. So more than half of the points, actually exactly half of the points, are coming from errors of the Angels. Coach Koji still managing to smile. Cesc Robles checking in for Abi Maraño. Robles, 7 points in their first meeting, only 1 point in their semi-final meeting. Bad pass coming from Van Sickle. Paat says, I'll take the first touch. Karandang knocks it off Van Sickle.
Karandang, this is her classic running attack. So much force, but Jasmine Nabor, I have to say, Eric, is running her offense smoothly, spreading it out, splitting the load coming from the right pin, from the left pin as well. But a lack of press on that sequence from Brooke.
Nabor's coming off an 11 excellent set performance in that loss against the Cool Smashers. Galang rejected. Terrific blocking at the net by the Angels. That's going to be on Phillips.
And Eric, this is a much-needed point for the Angels. Another reverse set coming from Jasmine Nabor, but no coverage coming from Ea.
Right now, the Angels need to make a run. They're still down by 6. Hierba says, ako na. Galang off the block, sends it outside.
Steady hands coming from Jen Hierba going to that left pin. But Galang, Eric, we all know that when the Chery Tiggo Crossovers need that one stop, that side out, you gotta go for the veteran.
But going back to the steady hands of Jen Hierba, I mean, she can probably have a career as a setter
Maybe next conference.
as well, right? In the meantime, there's Myla Pablo with her first point.
Now let's take a look at this replay here. Great set coming from Chi Saet. But Jasmine Nabor and Mylene Pad going into each other, I would say, in that sequence.
Janelle Cheng is back. Short pass, sideways pass as well. What a dig from Sabete. Van Sickle got it.
Van Sickle is the go-to spiker of the Petro Gazz Angels, and she usually has the hot hands. But this is a good strategy coming from Janelle Cheng. You can see that her attack was over the block of Jasmine Nabor.
What a first set for Brooke Van Sickle. 5 points already, leading all players for both teams. Nice pass. Mylene Bad off a combination play. Sabete defending very well from the back row. Van Sickle. There's a one-handed dig coming from Aya Laure. Galang turned away. Karandang with the first touch. They go to Mylene Bad. Blocked again. Oh! Great defense both at the net and on the floor for the Angels.
But you can see that Brooke Van Sickle read that tip early on coming from Mylene Paad. Talk about hang time, Eric, in that sequence by Brooke.
A mini three-point run for the Angels, forcing Coach Kung Fu Reyes to call a timeout.
Paano ka na lang, patungin mo na lang si Ara o kaya pabalikin mo si Ara dito ng 4. Ha? Tapos may doon na lang sa dulo. Ang kailangan nyo lang dito, be at the moment, kasi tayo atake, so kailangan lang natin na maayos na pasa. Ngayon, maging out of system, maging aggressive lang yung dalawang wing natin. Huwag mong kalimutan si Ena sa back row. Ano ba, masyado na malayo para sa dalawang wing mo. Hanapin mo na yung gitna. Back row. Sarina! Pwede ka pa rin mag-adlib. Yung press natin sa gitna, ha? Madami tayong option.
Kalma lang ha, kalma. Naisip yung galaw.
Yung first option mo is always the best choice, ha? Sige, banat.
Kalmahan nyo lang.
The Chery Tiggo Crossovers on a roll here, up by 4 points. Eric, you can see that they are now awake compared to that first part of that first set, while the Petro Gazz Angels still trying to find their groove. Quite too many unforced errors, but take a look on your screens, of course. Jaja supporting the Chery Tiggo Crossovers.
We call her Jaja Minoa.
Yes, I would say.
Nabor to Mylene Bat. Tempiatura is back on the floor for the Angels. Brooke Van Sickle, what a dig for Jen Hierba. Bat with a push, gets it off the arm. Ever so slight touch. Bounces it off of Palma.
And Eric, we haven't talked so much about the steady defense coming from Jen, reading the attack of Brooke, going for that cross-court, and of course Mylene Pat finishing it off ever so simply with a tip.
That stops the three-point run of the Angels. Good serve by Ara Galang, but a better pass coming from Van Sickle. Oh, Brooke Van Sickle got the receive with a great pass and then got the kill.
Perfectly executed with that receive, but Van Sickle, I mean, Janelle Cheng was able to maximize her before she got to that service line. Beautiful set coming from Jen. Remy Palma being that decoy against Zakarandang as well.
7 for Van Sickle. And after being down by 7, the Angels are within 4. Laure, yes!
This is all going in their favor because of the libero of Jen Hierba, very steady in the back row.
It's 5 set points for Zakarandang and the Crossovers in this battle for third. Best of 3. Sabete saves 1 of 5 set points. There's, I believe, a net touch as well going to be called against Maranyo. and the Angels need to score 4 straight to extend this opening set. Good pass by Aragalang. Here's Maylene Paat for the finish. What a save, but it doesn't go across the net for Ea Lave.
Loving the reaction, very reactive coming from the Chery Tiggo Crossovers.
Take another look here. There's the first touch, and then Aragalang popping it up. Ea Lave was there, but it just fell short of the net. So 2 set points saved by the Angels. 3 more. Overpass. Here we go. 3 set points saved by the Angels. They are within 2 points, Jamie.
That is an early gift coming from Maylene Paat to MJ Phillips. An overpass there in that sequence, but I mean, when MJ Phillips is in the front row, she will maximize her height and her strength as well.
EJ Lara checking in for the first time. MJ Phillips off the bench with 5 points. Couple more set points for Remy Palma and the Angels to overhaul. Good serving. Great pass though by EJ. Ea. Janelle Cheng is set by Brooke Van Sickle. Sabete is turned away. Pontilla sends it into the net. Not the kind of way you want to finish off a set. They had no fighting chance there as they give up the point via an attack fault.
No, but Eric, in this first set, the Petro Gazz Angels had a very slow start, but they were not able to maximize in the offensive in the scoring department. But 22 versus 25, the Petro Gazz Angels unable to solve this problem.
A 3-point win in 28 minutes for the Crossovers versus the Angels in this best-of-3 battle for 3rd place in the All-Filipino Conference in the 2024 PVL. Take a look at some of the highlights right here. First game of our doubleheader at the Smart Araneta Coliseum. Both teams started off kind of slow, right?
Yes, a slow start from both squads. The Petro Gazz Angels unable to maximize the middle blockers, Remy Palma and MJ Phillips. I mean, Janelle Cheng needs to split that load, needs to spread out the offense a bit more, but also quite too many unforced errors coming from their side. But for the Chery Tiggo Crossovers, they also did have a slow start, but they slowly gained momentum when Jasmine Nabor applicated more combination plays. Well, for the Petro Gazz Angels, they only had a 43% attack efficiency. As for the Chery Tiggo Crossovers, also the same, but I mean, quite too many unforced errors. Take a look on your screens here. 11 unforced errors coming from the Petro Gazz Angels, whereas the Chery Tiggo Crossovers, Eric, this is a good number here. Less than 5 is usually a good amount, but you could see they only had 3 points. But I remember in that timeout, Coach Kung Fu was upset with the receives, the miscues, but those were not necessarily unforced errors that were given to the Petro Gazz Angels. It's just that their movements were not as polished as their usual.
So it's still a surprise to me as I, digest those numbers. Still a surprise how the Angels managed to lose only by 3 points when they gave up 11.
Well, it's all because of Brooke Vansickle as well. And she's really the girl who they lean towards in the scoring department. Also, Isa Maizo as well. But she had quite a few overcooked attacks.
Meantime, second set starts off on a good note for the Angels. Janelle Chang with an ace. Paat. And the passing still, iffy for the Crossovers. Pontillas, Jen Yerba, we talked about her defense in the back row. Vansickle, Laure popping it up. Nabor back row for Mylene Paat and knocks it in. Paat picking up her 5th point of the game.
I'm loving the competitiveness from this rally. Mylene Paat finishing it off with that back row attack. Jasmine Nabor knew that the left pin was guarded, but she switched it, went for that center, the right behind her. These are quick pickups coming from Jasmine Nabor.
And you look at the, game face of Mylene Paat. I mean, she looks intense.
Yes.
She looks very intense today.
A mean mug.
Wouldn't want to be her opponent today. Vansickle with her 8th point, and that's a second attack point for the Angels here in set number 2.
But Eric, I remember one of the interviews coming from Brooke. She was saying that she hopes she's being a good teammate for the Petro Gazz Angels, but I don't think she understands how much help she's given for the Angels. Of course, in the stats alone, she has really helped her squad.
That hit, Mylene Paat, is long as we go courtside to Kyla Castillo again.
Thank you, Eric. Now, I want you to picture a heartbeat. Tumataas, bumababa, pero yun mismo ang senyales na buhay ka pa. Lumalaban ka pa. Ganito dinescribe ni Mylene Paat ang naging journey ng Chery Tiggo Crossovers this conference. And as they battle it out today for the bronze, for pride, and for all the doubters they've proven wrong, ang hugot niya ay hindi kami pwede mag-flatline. 3 taon na rin daw ang nakalipas nang huli silang nakatapak sa podium, kaya naman tugon ng Chery, kami naman ngayon. Narating na dati, posible at kakayaning ulitin ngayon. Coming into the second set, Mama P reminded the team to perform as one. Sa bawat palo, ibuhos ang lahat ng pinaghirapan. Let's see if the Chery Tiggo Crossovers can sustain their momentum the second set. All these and more when you download the Pilipinas Live app for only 149 pesos per month. Now back to you, Eric and Jamie.
All right, thank you, Kyla. Right now, courtesy of MJ Phillips, it's a 2-point deficit against the Crossovers, although they did win the opening set by 3 points. Karandang is turned away. Paat blocked again. Good defense at the net on back-to-back plays for the Angels. 3rd block in a row. Paat against a single blocker. Yes!
Mylene Paat going for that long ball cross-court attack, finding that open space. Great pickups. Eric coming from Geneva, very steady so far in this match, but Brooke was a little bit too forward in that sequence. But sharp eye coming from Mylene Paat.
Paat with 6 points. Karandang with a nice serve, but she's unable to dig that one up from Remy Palma.
See Janelle Chang now maximizing MJ Phillips, Remy Palma. This is very much needed if they want to seal this first win for the Battle of Bronze. It just cannot be on the load of Jonah and Brooke.
Maraño with the first touch. Laure, seeing that empty space behind the blockers, just tips it in.
Laure, ever so reliable coming from the left pin. You could see that she was very explosive in her approach, but mid-air changing that tempo. But the defense not found for the Petro Gazz Angels.
Paat with 6. Nice job by Laure punching it across, but no block touch, according to Erlindo Eusebio. That point was awarded to the Angels, but Palma says I touched it because she already saw Coach Kung Fu was going to challenge.
We love the honesty.
Honesty, Remy Palma. So green card to Palma and the Angels. Five all. That point will be given to Ea Laure. That's her 6th. The crowd slowly starting to build up inside the Smart Araneta Coliseum in anticipation of the gold medal match between two bitter rivals, the Cool Smashers and the Flying Titans. That's coming up around 6 p.m. Ea Laure, that's popped up by Barbon. Back row for Van Sickle. Again, Jen Yerba doing what she does best. Maizo Puntillas passes Cheng. Palma running attack, it's outside.
You could see that Remy Palma was forcing that down the line. A bit overcooked in that sequence, but Eric, Jen Yerba is on point, knowing where her opponents will attack, reading it early on, being also very vocal to Jasmine Nabor. That is the relationship that you want to see coming from the libero and your setter.
Cheng goes all the way out to Sabete. And Sabete will knock it in. You were talking about Jen Yerba. Yerba with 6 digs. 6 excellent digs, let me put it that way, ladies and gentlemen.
Very steady at that, but let's take a look at this attack. Coming from Jonas Sabete, finding that hole. You can see there was still an open space in that block.
And more importantly, avoiding Jen Yerba. Sending it to Aragala.
No doubt.
That's short. A little low for Abby Maraño. Van Sickle off the block of Jasmine Nabor. Van Sickle now with 9 points.
And you see Jasmine Nabor trying to force that running attack coming from Abby Maraño, but Van Sickle just touching the hands of Abby Maraño. Lack of press in that sequence as well.
Both teams swapping side outs so far early in set number 2. Jonas Abete throws a serve away.
This also happened in that first set. Jonas Abete unable to control her strength.
Tied at 7. This is going to be deadlock number 4. Cheng. Van Sickle with a tip.
Smart play.
And she is now in double digits. Brooke Van Sickle with 10. That takes us to our first technical timeout. Angels up by 1 against the Crossovers, set number 2. Arena Plus, Astig sa Sports. A look at the crowd inside the Smart Araneta Coliseum on a Thursday afternoon as we begin day 1 of the finals. Best of 3 in this battle for 3rd and the gold medal match. Remy Palma serves into the net, so back-to-back service faults here for the Angels. And the game is tied at 8. Both teams, in case you guys are wondering, both teams were at the podium at the same time in the same conference back in 2021. That was in Baccarat
I remember that. Yep.
for the Open Conference. Crossovers were the champions. The Angels were the third place finishers. But since then, Crossovers have not made it anywhere beyond fourth place. Meanwhile, the Angels finished third in this same conference last year. Galang overpassed. A nice dig from Sabete. Galang tries again. Sabete again, this time much better pass. Cheng chasing it down. Van Sickle with a hit. And the point. A rare Jen Yerba Miski won the dig.
But Brooke Van Sickle, so much juice in that attack. Cheng for that bump set.
Spike of the set brought to you by Duncan Pasalubong ng Bayan.
But you can see that Brooke was avoiding Kadamdang in that sequence. But too much power from that attack.
Van Sickle now with 12, the only player in double digits for both teams. Nabor on the option, and nice dig again from Sabete, and Brooke Van Sickle with back-to-back points. Hey, Laure wondering, what am I gonna do here in the back row? Timeout. First one for Coach Gumpo Reyes. Let's listen in to the huddle of the Crossovers after this, the 13th point right there of Brooke Van Sickle.
Atake mo masyadong mahihiyain. Ha? Pwede mo nang i-score yun. Maging aggressive ka lang. Pati sa pag-drop mo, nahihiya ka pa rin eh. Huwag kang mahiya sa kalaban. Intindihan mo. Tapos yung depensa natin sa ibabaw ng net. Kailangan natin resolvehin yan. Kung hindi natin kaya yung offensive block, doon tayo sa defensive block. I-rebound lang natin. Damputin natin ulit sa ilalim. Tapos tayo tayo sa counter-attack. Go tayo! Sa atake.
Chery! Go,
Legendary music icon David Foster returns to Manila June 18. Buy your tickets now at ticketnet.com.ph or call 8911-5555. Mitch Morente, Marian Buitre, not seeing action today.
Eric, that David Foster concert, I'm definitely going to watch that one on June 18th.
What's your favorite Foster song?
Well, I checked the lineup. It's David Foster and Friends.
And Friends.
So actually, Brian McKnight will be there, and love the R&B. I will be there. I will probably be the youngest one there.
With a date?
No, just me. Well, it's still early pa naman, maybe.
Being coy, you just want to tell us. This is now the biggest lead for the Angels. They're up by 4 points even after the timeout by Coach Gumpo Reyes. They have not gotten a positive response.
Good serve.
And another great pass from Yerba. Seth Rodriguez, by the way, is in the game for the first time for the Crossovers. Oh, what a save from both Paat and Nabor. Pontillas. Pancake save again coming from Yerba, but the hit is short for A. Laure as the run continues for the Angels.
Beautiful exchanges coming from both squads. Jen Yerba with the pickup with that pancake save. But A. Laure a little low in that contact as well. You can see she was trying to go for that cross-court attack, but the intent was there.
Right. 5-0 run for Janelle Cheng and the Angels. Galang rejected by MJ Phillips.
That was an early read coming from the Petro Gazz Angels, but the Chery Tiggo Crossovers will call for time.
This is the final timeout for Coach Gumpo Reyes. We'll listen in. He doesn't look happy.
Jasmine! Hey, kontrolin niyo yung galaw. Sinasayang yung galing ng spiker. Basta bato kayo ng bato ng bola. Hindi na kayo nagbabasa eh. Maylene ka, wala na tayong ina-atake dito. Kasi nga, tapo ka lang ng tapo ng bola. Hindi mo na nakikita. Naiintindihan. Kontrolin natin kasi nga, walang ginagawa yung kabila. Sige ang score.
Gabarin natin! Tulong-tulong! Basta-basta! Chery! Go!
Hindi pwedeng ata.
Des Cheng, who suffered an ACL injury and is in recovery mode. Looking forward to seeing her stronger and better next year for the Flying Titans. Her sister and made it to the semifinals, but right now relegated to this battle for third.
ever so supportive as
Of
well.
course. Biggest lead. Oh, that's on the line. And it continues to build this cushion for the Angels.
But Eric, that serve coming from Cheng, it actually looked like it will sail out.
Yeah.
But it just dropped right inside of the line. But now Coach Kung Fu going for a double sub here. Join me.
Kagande, her first stint in the match. He has no more timeouts remaining. Meanwhile, there's 2 timeouts still for the Angels. Seven, the biggest lead for the Angels.
Good receive.
Kagande. And the struggles continue here. The drought for crossovers. MJ Phillips, that's her 7th point of the game, sending us to our second technical timeout. Very comfortable advantage by the Angels. Cheng, and her performance in the semis clearly falling short of their goal of a gold medal match.
That's right, Eric. She had 9 points in the semis series, but you can see there's better production, better strategy making coming from Janelle Cheng.
What should your average be? I mean, for successful matches, a little over 10?
A little bit over 10. That's the right amount for each game.
To be able to be successful. Meanwhile, finally a side out for the crossovers, breaking that scoring slump, but they are still down by 7. Cheng go out to Van Sickle. Oh, Van Sickle continues to wax hot. 14 points now, Jamie.
But Janelle Cheng, she's maximizing Brooke here, coming from that left pin. But because Brooke is tall, she has a lot of strength, she's able to see mid-air, finding that hole. And this time she went for that cross-court attack.
And Van Sickle, she has these stretches where it's just teams go crazy trying to figure out a way to stop her, right?
Well, she has a lot of experience up her sleeve, being that D1 player coming from Hawaii, I believe. So she
also played for the University of Oregon as well.
Yes. I mean, those are big teams in the States, so she's elevated the play of the Petro Gazz Angels. And that is something that I did bring up during the pregame earlier.
Still a 7-point game. Aragalang already has 5 points. She scored 2 here in set number 2. Meanwhile, Jen Yerbo will sit down. Abby Maraño is back in, so no official libero here for the crossovers. And Yerbo's wondering why did I get subbed out? Nice pass by Barbon. Here comes Sabete.
Small play. But Jonas Sabete, this is her first off-speed attack, finding that space in that donut hole zone of the Chery Tiggo Crossovers. And that was a high attack as well, but no urgency coming from Chery Tiggo. You could see that their feet were planted to the floor.
MJ Phillips, look at her numbers. Do you get more excited as an attacker if there's no libero on the other side?
Oh, for sure. I mean, the libero is supposed to be the best receiver, best digger. So if the libero is not there, you got to maximize that space.
Seth Rodriguez with a tip. By the way, Casey Galdona is in the game for the first time for the Angels. Longest rally so far. Back row, Galang, that's outside. And right now, the crossovers are up and down, and they're mostly down so far here in set number 2.
There's too many unforced errors, and specifically, Eric, a lot of attack errors.
There's Myla Pablo. One of the more beloved players of
Proud
the PVL.
favorite.
Yeah, because of the time that she spent, delivering high-level volleyball, whether it was in the UAAP and the PVL. Earned the moniker Bagyong Pablo.
Classic.
Classic, definitely. Cagande to the middle. Seth Rodriguez with a hit. A 9-point lead, the biggest right now for the Angels. Pontillas tries again. This time sends it wide.
Ilias going for that second contact. Love the aggressiveness, but a little overcooked. But Coach Kung Fu here having a lot of substitutions now
He's
in
looking
the second set.
Looking for a better combination. Shaya Adorador in the ballgame for the first time. Seth Rodriguez, former Lady Warrior. There's a timeout by Coach Koji Tuzorabara, his first. They're up by 8 here in the second set.
One catch, don't overguard. One catch. Second hit, aggressive sir. Yeah, this is wrong. Catch, beat up judge.
T-short lang, tas iwan na sa ikot. Get, short, get.
It's aggressive, it's okay. Mistake, it's okay. It's okay, don't hit it.
Okay, good.
Okay. Ayo, Mama.
Go! Guys, let's keep applying pressure right now. Hey, Petro Gazz Angels!
No, Eric, I like what MJ Phillips said in the timeout. Let's keep applying pressure. I mean, when you're up this lead, this is where the execution is now tested. We all know here in the PVL, there's no safety whether you're up by 5 points, whether you're up by 10 points. You got to finish, start to finish. We have Pauline Gaston now fielded in for Abby Maraño.
First kayo kanina, dapat sabay na. Nag-time out lang siya, hindi pwede.
All right, so
Too excited.
disallowed the entry of Bongay Gaston for now.
Delay warning lang ang team. Delay warning lang ang team. Okay?
Lipis mo naman tumawag.
Hindi, yun talaga. Ha? Delay lang ako.
All right, Coach Arlindo Eusebio just being very, formal and not strict, but just
Stern.
very stern, correct? He's trying to implement the rules as it is. Seth Rodriguez.
It's a good serve.
Adorador with her first touch. Pontillas off speed. Adorador popping it up. Robles. Easy dig for Barbon. Back row for Van Sickle. EJ Laure diving for it. Adorador, good defense we've seen so far in this rally for the Angels. Another time to attack. Maraño popped up by Chang. Barbon sets it up. There goes Sabete through the double block. Robles trying to go down the line, softened by the block. 1-2 play for Janelle Chang. And Robles unable to pop it up. Everything going the way of the Angels, Jamie.
Well, the bump set coming from Shai was a bit too low for Cesar Robles. I don't think she saw that. But talk about that defense coming from Brooke. Very steady, and we all know it's not just that. It's not just her attacking that is helping the Angels. It is her defense in the back row.
That last play was brought to you by Honda Motorcycles. And first time to see action for Ivy Perez today. Nine-point lead for the Angels. Robles into the net. Oh. It's been a rough set number 2, to say the least, for the Crossovers.
And Eric, the pump set coming from EJ, that is not the easiest of angles to attack, says Robles, trying to go for that down the line.
Back to the biggest lead now of the Angels at 10 points. EJ Laure with a better pass. Robles. Ooh. Into the net. Previous hit. This time into the antenna. Robles can do no right so far in the last 2 attacks.
Says Robles having a difficult time with her attacking. She came off the bench earlier. But these are also good serves coming from Ivy. Very heavy, loaded serves.
Now the biggest lead of the Angels at 11. Adorador with the pass. There's a tip by Gaston, who finally makes it in, but Sabete turns her away. The 6th point of Sabete and a 12-point commanding lead for the Angels.
Jonas Sabete reading the running attack coming from Pauline Gaston, going for that tip.
Gaston again, partially blocked by Sabete. Sabete will attack and get it. Whoa. Angels on the other side can just do no wrong here in set number 2.
Well, that is a loose block coming from the Chery Tiggo Crossovers. Jonas Sabete able to cover herself, but Joy Micagante unable to block that sequence.
Finally, something going across the net for the Crossovers. Myla Pablo looking for the finish. They've got 13 set points here. Robles kept alive. Finally, a side out.
Third time is the charm for Cesar Robles. You can see the Chery Tiggo Crossovers, Eric, it's not smooth sailing for them, really having a difficult time. But Petro Gazz will now call for time.
Who using?
Myla, coach. 5. Running, coach. No, running in the position 2. No.
Alam mo, patakbin si Myla.
Ako patatapos. Hindi. Si Myla tatakbo pupunta doon. Doon siya mag-start.
Dito siya.
Dito siya.
First position niya dito.
Aggressive, don't do that. Don't do that toss.
Yes, coach.
She can't. Aggressive dog. She can hit.
Yes, coach.
Okay. One catch.
Let's go!
Let's go.
One pass lang. Petro Gazz
Angels!
The Angels had a 16-3 run. Can you believe it? 16-3 run before that first point by Ces Robles. Right now, that's as insurmountable a lead as you can get here in set number 2.
This is a very slow start coming from the Chery Tiggo Crossovers. Well, this is what we saw from the Petro Gazz Angels earlier. A lot of miscues, but Galdones able to execute in that last play. Now the Petro Gazz Angels getting that second set.
First point for Casey Galdones coming off the bench here in set number 2, and after losing by 3 points in the opening set.
So a quick attack. Yep, a quick attack coming from Galdones.
Galdones, Van Sickle, Myla Pablo, company, they are tied at 1 set apiece now with the Crossovers. After losing by 3 points in the opening set against the Crossovers, the Angels bounced back big time with a 13-point win in the same amount of time in set number 2, Jamie.
Well, Eric, take a look. Only 12 points for the Chery Tiggo Crossovers. A lot of miscues. Jasmine Nabor unable to maximize her offense. A lot of her plays were coming from a combination play, but I don't think she realized that MJ Phillips was in the center on the other side. You have to avoid MJ Phillips as much as possible. Whereas the Petro Gazz Angels, Jonas Sabete, Brooke Van Sickle are doing such a great job of providing stability for the Angels. Of course, Janelle Chang knowing who to set at the right time. But the Petro Gazz Angels had a 42% attack efficiency, whereas the Chery Tiggo Crossovers only had 15. And there you have the answers here. We have 6 attacks rather coming from the Chery Tiggo Crossovers, whereas the Petro Gazz Angels having 8 more attacks. That is a huge disparity. The Petro Gazz Angels dominant in the blocking department, dominant in the ace department as well. But for the Chery Tiggo Crossovers, if they want to execute properly, they need to do a better job in communication, because there is steady defense coming from the back row. Jen Nierva has been on point. She has been getting the attacks of Brooke Van Sickle, but a lot of the attacks are not maximized. Abby Marano, not enough production coming from her. But Eric, the Angels, you can see that they're smiling on the court. They're enjoying. The aura is completely the opposite that we saw compared to the first set.
Not the case at all. I mean, Van Sickle, even during that pregame interview, I mean, she looks somber. Very straight to the point, right? No smiles. I mean, she smiled a little bit towards the end. So it was a different vibe coming from them. But you're right. Coming into set number 3 after a very successful second set, they look like a much happier squad. The kind of squad we were familiar of during the entire season.
Well, Eric, the semi-series was very heavy emotionally.
I mean, for all teams,
yes,
right?
for all the teams. So I'm sure a bit of that is still there.
Yeah, for sure. Ooh. Lucky that Phillips wasn't whistled for either a lift or a double. There's a block by Van Sickle, but it goes outside, so a point for the Crossovers. Karandang gets them on the board first, and they need to get a good start here. I mean, we saw the numbers. They scored 6 attacks, but they also gave up 6 points. So they basically, you know, if you minus that, they
bounce to 0.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Cheng. Van Sickle bounces back after that miscue on the block earlier and scores against Jasmine Nabor.
I mean, the Brooke Van Sickle, the explosive approach. I mean, Janelle Cheng perfecting that set near that antenna so Brooke can go down the line.
Van Sickle with 14, still the only player in double digits. Well, you can't expect double digits from the Crossovers, especially after a paltry second set. Galang this time gets it through. What a dig coming from Jelly Tempiatura. Pushed by Karandang. Tempiatura pops it up. And here comes Sabete. Got it.
This is a smarts coming from Jonas Sabete. She is, of course, one of the veteran spikers here for the Petro Gazz Angels. I mean, nothing too flashy, just touching the hands of Ada in that sequence.
8 points for Sabete. Meanwhile, for the Crossovers, nobody with more than 6. Service ace for Van Sickle as the Angels starting to pull away early. At least they're attempting to. This is just a 2-point lead, but if the Crossovers don't sort it out, they might find themselves down in double digits again. Oh, Van Sickle has struggled from the service area, Jamie. Let's go courtside to Kyla Castillo.
Thank you, Eric. Petro Gazz was quick to steer the game into their side, and we can credit that to an attitude shift The tension and stiffness are gone, and their emotions are better controlled. This reminded me of what Brooke Vansickle told me earlier. She said, and I quote, "We play our best when we're smiling." Now, Eric and Jamie, here's a little something that might make you smile. During Brooke's stay with the Angels, she's actually picked up a few Tagalog words. Although she says na pang 2-year-old lang raw ang kanyang Tagalog, she knows the basics. Sister, mainit during trainings. Kain na whenever enjoying her favorite tusok-tusok street food. And of course, laban, which they are doing right now. Now tied at 1 set apiece. Let's see who wants it more. Timbahay o nasa venue ka man, you can enjoy premier volleyball experience. Just download the Pilipinas Live app for only 149 pesos per month. Jamie, why don't you also flex some of your Tagalog as I turn it over back to the panel?
I'd like to hear that. Thank you, Kyla. Great report.
Thank you, Kyla.
What is your? I mean, I'm wondering now what's the favorite tusok food of Brooke Vansickle?
You can ask her later, Eric.
Do you have a favorite?
Fishball.
That seems to be like the first stage, right? Everybody. Nope, I haven't yet to meet somebody who doesn't like it. Phillips with an ace. And don't look now. I mean, after that report, it was just a 2-point lead earlier. Before the report of Kyla, and just after that quick report, the lead has doubled for the Angels. Finally, a side out. Aya Laure knocking it in. That's just the 6th point of Aya.
But you can see that the Petro Gazz Angels are guarding her. They know that most of the sets are coming from Aya Laure. And you can see the Petro Gazz block is a bit more steady on her.
Short pass coming from Barbon. So going to be an easy over for the Angels. Aya. Oh, she has the hot hand. Back-to-back points.
You can see Aya popping up her squad after she gets a point, rallying up her teammates. But smart play going down the line.
Karandang. And here comes Sabete. Bounces it off the block. Picked up by Aya Laure. Here comes Mylene Bad. She has 6 already. Overpassed by Janelle Cheng. Maraño asking for it, but they go to Aya Laure. And that one outside.
That is a much needed point for the Chery Tiggo Crossovers. Aya Laure, Eric, is very much pumped up here as she's still in the front row. Changing that tempo. Jonah not there as well. Remy Palma going for that second contact.
3-point run for the Crossovers. Stop by Aiza Puntillas. Just the 3rd point for Puntillas.
Only 3 points. That is not enough. That is not her usual coming from the right pin. But Aiza able to break that block, that broken block from the Chery Tiggo Crossovers.
So far, Puntillas has more errors than points. She has 4 errors, 3 points. But look for her to turn that around. Meantime, Aya Laure has scored the last 3 points of the Crossovers. She now has 9 points, 4 coming in 3rd set.
A better production coming from Aya Laure. We did feature her earlier during the pregame. She really needs to step up. We need crazy numbers coming from her.
Sabete into the net. And after leading by 4, the Angels have lost their advantage and we're tied at 7.
This is what we were saying earlier, Eric. You really can't be too complacent, even if you're ahead by 3 or 4 points. You got to finish the game start to finish.
And do it strong. Sabete off speed, blocked by Maraño up top. Vansickle, ooh, from the back row, fires a missile. 17 points for Vansickle, and the Angels back up by 1 against the Crossovers, set number 3. Arena Plus, Astig sa Sports. Angels up by 1. They're also up, well, they were up by 13 to finish set number 2, but we're tied at 1 set apiece in this best of 3 battle for bronze in the 2024 All-Filipino Conference. Their opponents, the Crossovers, winning by a slim margin in the opening set. And they were overwhelmed by the Angels in set number 2.
Well, the Petro Gazz Angels really maximize their attacks. Not a lot of unforced errors. The Chery Tiggo Crossovers, though, Eric, only had 6 points.
Ricky Villavicencio of the Angels. Watching the team as they try to finish on a strong note, on a positive note. More importantly, a winning note. Sabete with a gorgeous serve. Nabor passes. Quick jump by Avi Maraño to put it away.
Avi Maraño, very reactive in that sequence. And the Chery Tiggo Crossovers, Eric, need to boost up their energy here.
Yep. Maraño just her second point. She didn't score in set number 2. Short pass. Van Sickle, just an overhead toss. Buding Durendes is in the game for the first time for the Crossovers. Van Sickle, power push, got it.
Brooke Van Sickle is able to make a way, coming from that high set this time from Janelle Chang. Switching tempo, going for that tip down the line. So much power.
And explosive leaping. I mean, you saw her hands, right? I mean, she was above the block again. Angels up by 1. And Van Sickle on track for another 20-plus point performance. She already has 18. Ara Galang. Last time we saw something like that was she was with De La Salle, right?
Yes. So much power in the attack going down the line.
Spike of the set brought to you by Duncan. Pasalubong ng bayan. Even Coach Koji Tsurabara can do nothing but smile. And this one was pretty.
You could see, though, that there was an open space in between that block.
Barbon pops it up. Combination play, Van Sickle, and nobody there in the back row. Van Sickle now with 19.
Now this is all from the smarts coming from Chang, going for that combination play. A different set coming from, for Brooke. I mean, these are the smarts, and of course, we know the setter to be the brain of the team. But Janelle Chang, ever so composed.
Always, right? I've never seen her rattle at all. Service ace for Chang. That's her 3rd ace of the game. She has more aces, in fact, than the entire Crossovers.
Wow.
Mini 2-point run for the Angels here. They're up by 2, 11-9. Phillips passes. Sabete to Van Sickle. There's a block. That must make the Crossovers feel better about themselves. 2nd consecutive block against Van Sickle. And this time, Pontillas rejected as well. 3 straight blocks for the Crossovers. Galang with a push. Easy pickup for Van Sickle. Here comes MJ Phillips. Spot picking it up. Back row. Laure with a kill. Laure, the first player for the Crossovers in double digits with 10.
It's a beautiful attack coming from Aya Laure. Very explosive. Finishing touch on that long rally, targeting Janelle Chang going cross court.
That stops the 2-point run of the Angels. Nabor. Chang back to Puntillas. One-on-one against Galang. Galang this time attacking against 2 blockers. Chang passes. Van Sickle got it.
So much power. You can hear the impact of the ball and her hand. When there's no block there, you can see that she avoids the hand, but being unable to solve that.
20 points for Brooke Van Sickle. Two-point lead once again for the Angels. Short pass, Maylene Paat attacking. Van Sickle with the dig. Sabete turned away by Aragalang. Sabete will try again. And gets it. That's a nice dig by Nierva and a save by Paat. Chance ball for the Angels. Sabete with a push. Easy pickup for Jasmine Nabor. Nierva sets it up for Galang. Yes!
Galang breaking that loose block of the Petro Gazz Angels. Also, beautiful bump set coming from Jen Nierva. Just the way she likes it, not too near the net, not too off. Very explosive in that attack.
7 points for Ara Galang, second leading scorer for the Crossovers, but she sends it outside. Just the first service fault. In fact, the first fault for the Crossovers this third set.
But sometimes the timing of those missed serves actually halts your own momentum.
Phillips. Off the block. Zakarandang with 3 points.
We haven't heard a lot from Za in this third set, but Jasmine Nabor finally able to apply and add more weapons on the scoring department.
Back to a 1-point game, 12 serving 13. A short serve for Zakarandang. Remy Palma is popped up by Nabor. Zakarandang got a careful set. Janelle Chang keeping it alive. Palma sends it over. One-handed tip. Bad. Blocked by Sabete. Nabor sets it up to Aya Laure. Sabete will pick it up. Pontillas with a tip and a point.
Too smart. Isa able to find that open space. She knew that the other players, the Chery Tiggo Crossovers, were actually still going in transition. Jen Nierva expecting that down the line, as well as Mylene Paat ready for that cross.
Pontillas with 4. 3 of the 4 points coming here in set number 3. Back to a 2-point cushion for the Angels. Their biggest lead was 4.
Good set.
Good save as well from Pontillas. Battle at the net. Nabor back to Laure. Whoa, what a block there from Remy Palma. The offense of the Crossovers becoming predictable.
You're right, Eric. The sets of Jasmine Nabor, she has to go more for those reverse sets, maybe set more to the middle blockers, because we all know the blocking of Remy Palma, very stable.
Palma with 4 points. That is her first kill block. Tempiatura with an easy dig. Sabete. The blockers were late. Gets it across. Nabor with the first touch. Here comes Paat. Turned away. Nabor with great coverage behind the blockers. Back row. Van Sickle. Got it.
With the help of the net.
21. Brooke Van Sickle. And it's a 4-point cushion for the Angels against the Crossovers here in set number 3. Arena Plus, Astig's Sports, and most of the seats getting filled up already as we're probably towards the tail end. Not saying it's going to get finished in 4, but right now, Angels in control of set number 3, and we're tied at 1 set apiece, but we're coming to the tail end of this best of 3 battle for bronze, and the crowd eagerly anticipating a rematch between the Cool Smashers and the Flying Titans, who figured in the finals of the second All-Filipino conference. So this has got to be
Exciting,
sweet, right?
Yep, very exciting. But you can see a better improvement coming from the Petro Gazz Angels. They're actually controlling their own tempo this time around.
It is back to their biggest lead. Now they've put up their biggest lead in set number 3, up by 5 points off that block again.
And Eric, you can see that Remy Palma is timing it well with the blocking. We haven't seen enough of that in the first 2 sets.
First time out here for Coach Kung Fu Reyes. We'll listen to the crossovers.
Umaatake tayo eh. Okay, umaatake tayo. Pero, naka-establish lahat ng block nila. So kailangan lang natin, tibayan natin yung ilalim natin, yung coverage. Paano kayo nag-coverage? Nakaganyan kayo. Kung wala sa angle na tamang pagbalik ng bola, yung trajectory niya kung paano ibablocking sa kabila, hindi tayo naka-ready. Ngayon, Jazz, kung saan malapit, apply natin yung opposite setting. Nandito naman si Melin sa kabila. Tsagayin nyo lang ha, umakatake tayo, aggressive tayo sa atake. Kanya nga lang, mayroong block sa kabila. Hindi tayo naka-ready doon para sa coverage. So idagdag natin yung tagalaw. Tsagayin nyo lang, tsagayin nyo!
Now, Eric, this is what I was saying earlier. Jasmine Nabor cannot be too predictable in her setting strategies. I did mention also that she needs to do more reverse setting. That is what Coach Kung Fu did just mention in the timeout, opposite setting, because we know the Petro Gazz Angels know the offense of the crossovers.
There it is. Mighty Bat with a side out, her 7th point of the game. The last few points of the Angels, as you see another angle of the Paat kill. The Angels have been getting their points from blocking.
Yes. But you can see Mylene Paat switching that direction, going for that long ball cross-court attack. And that attack was actually above the block of the Angels.
Meantime, Paat and Nabor will sit down. Cagande and Robles are in. Sabete, there's a block touch. Yes, there is. Sabete now in double digits. Second player in double digits for the Angels. She has 10.
What I noticed with the Angels, they are not allowing the Chery Tiggo Crossovers to get a 2 to 3 point run. They are able to get that side out right away. Janelle Chang knowing to maximize on Jonas Sabete, but we have Chamson now fielded in.
Robles, another block. If that's on Cheng, that's going to be her second. And Cheng alone has outblocked the entire crossovers.
I think she wants to be added to the blocking department before these past 2 games.
And it's clearly surprising because Chery Tiggo Crossovers, they're 5th in blocking coming into today's game.
Well, you can see that it is
Out of 12
shining now.
teams.
Yes, it's shining now at the right time.
Oh, Brooke Van Sickle, 22 points.
You can see that they want to get that side out right away, but this time Brooke was coming from the right pin.
And to your point, just preventing a run from the crossovers again.
It's all because of Janelle Chang knowing who to set at the right time.
So Paat, Nabor back in. They're down by 3 against Cheng and the Angels. Another serve from Chami Chamzon. Nabor running attack. Oh, turned away by Van Sickle. What hang time for Brooke Van Sickle. She scored back-to-back points.
But you know, Jasmine Nabor actually forcing that running attack. A bit too obvious.
And you see here, I mean, Maraño was already down and Van Sickle was still up in the air. Another timeout here for the crossovers.
Hindi na palo na maayos, ginawa naman ang paraan. Ang problema, bumalik sa atin ang napakagaang wala tayong suporta. Yun yung sinasabi sa inyo. Umaatake yung kasama natin pero naiiwan mag-isa. Ulitin natin, hindi tayo naka-7 winning streak na iniiwan natin yung kasama natin. Yung strength natin kasi sama-sama tayo eh. Ngayon, pag talagang nagkanya-kanya ang galaw, wala tayong pupuntahan yan, kundi pababa.
The key word in that timeout was support. Abby Maraño not balanced in that sequence, going for the running attack. It wasn't the strongest, but what he was actually arguing about was there was no coverage.
Yep.
He did mention their 7-game winning streak. The only way to win games, you need to support your teammates.
Right. And in that 7-game winning streak, by the way, I mean, we know there are some teams that are struggling in this All-Filipino conference, but they beat some of the top teams like Signal, they beat PLDT, they beat the Creamline.
Creamline in 3 sets.
In 3 sets, so that was a spectacular winning streak. 7-game winning streak for the Crossovers. Good response after that final timeout by Coach Kung Reyes. Laude with her 11th point of the game.
This is coming from an out-of-system play. Not an easy angle to attack, but much needed side out for Chery Tiggo.
Good pass by Barbon. Van Sickle. And that will not come back. Van Sickle is on a roll now. 24 points already.
You know, Jen Mierva was there. She knows that Brooke usually goes for that cross court, but the power of Brooke.
An 8-point lead for the Angels. A very short pass for Laude. Overpassed by Chami Chamzon. Nabor will get a side out.
It's a smart play coming from Nabor, being that offensive setter that she is. She is, of course, left-handed, coming from that free ball, finding that open space in zone 1.
Second point for Jasmine Nabor. Abby Maraño, meantime, will serve. She has a couple of points already. Phillips turned away. 3 blockers. And back-to-back points for the first time for the Crossovers.
Coming from Aiza.
Coach Tsuzuramara will call his first timeout. Let's listen to the Angels.
One more catch.
Reset again.
Okay.
Fast, guys.
One more. One catch. Who are you using? It's okay.
Watch them, y'all. Yeah, I get it. Sorry.
Here, you here. It's okay. From position 2. Here. Blue, you. One catch.
Hey, Petro Gazz Angels.
The postseason of the association is finally here. Watch the 2024 NBA playoffs only on NBA TV Philippines, One Sports and Pilipinas Live. Hashtag everyone's game. Hashtag NBA on Signal. And the Knicks, with back-to-back wins, they're up 2-0 against the Pacers after winning at MSG earlier today. In case you need an update on the playoffs, Van Sickle gets a side out for the Angels. She has 25 points already.
This is her usual production that we're seeing from Brooke, but the Chery Tiggo Crossovers unable to solve that problem of that blocking against Brooke. And you can see Brooke is breaking that block because of her strength.
Yeah. .23 serving 16. Ivy Perez. Good pass from Ea Laure. Running attack for Zacarandang. Not a good pass there from Perez. Good save. Phillips gets it across on an underhand pass. Aragalang trying to go down the line, and it went wide. That's gotta hurt because that'll put the Angels at 8 set points. Not before we get a challenge.
We haven't had a lot of challenges actually so far in this match, but that challenge will be called on the attack of Aragalang as she will try to go down the line.
Well, you know what very few challenges mean. Great officiating so far for Erlindo Eusebio, our first referee, and Mark Santos, our second referee. So a block touch challenge by Coach Reyes on that attack by Aragalang.
Okay, let's see here.
Not even close.
No block touch. So that is a clean attack going outside.
So officially, it's going to be 8 set points for the Angels. Coach Kung Reyes, one of the busiest coaches aside from Dante
That's right,
Elinsunurin.
yep.
And UST will figure in the finals against National University. That starts on Saturday. Game number 1 of the best of 3 in the women's division. 1-2 play. There's a net touch. Van Sickle, was it her foot?
Actually, you saw the dig coming from Jelly.
Oh, yeah, it was her foot. You don't see that.
Yep,
Yeah.
every day. Too excited.
So 1 set point given up. Bad pass. So 2 set points given up by the Angels.
The receiver's a bit too tight for Ivy, but usually in those situations, the setter should be there already and go for a jump set.
Right. 6 more set points against the Crossovers. Here we go. Phillips turned away. Van Sickle with coverage.
It's a good set.
And Pontillas will get the winning point in set number 3.
Isa finishing it off, breaking that block of the Chery Tiggo Crossovers. These are the vet moves that we love to see coming from Isa.
Pontillas with 5 points, all coming from attacks. And the Angels back-to-back commanding wins in this best-of-3 battle for third against the Crossovers. (25-18), a 7-point win in set number 3 for the Angels. And as you can see on the graphic, it's back-to-back set wins to go up 2-1 against the Crossovers.
Well, the Petro Gazz Angels able to maximize their weapons. MJ Phillips, we have Jonas Abete, Brooke coming from the left pin, Janelle Chang, and also Ivy Perez was steering that ship towards the latter part. We have Jonas Abete already with 9 points, but Van Sickle 22 points, but Sabete with 10 points rather. Brooke with 25 points, 22 off attacks, whereas the Chery Tiggo Crossovers, they were unable to gain their own momentum. When they did have the momentum, it was followed by a miss serve, so those need to be controlled. But the attacks here on your screens, 12 for Chery Tiggo and 16 from the Angels. The disparity not that far, but it was those 4 blocks, Eric, coming from mostly Remy Palma, Janelle Chang. And there was a time in that third set, the left pin in Ea Laure was being guarded from Remy Palma, and the Petro Gazz Angels actually had more errors, 6 errors compared to the 2 of Chery Tiggo.
And look at the Angels fans. Obviously, you will not miss these Cool Smashers fans. Aragalang and company, they need to win this set against Isa Puntillas and the Angels. Set number 4, best-of-3 battle for third place in the 2024 All-Filipino Conference, and we are underway. And it starts off pretty much the way we left off in set number 3. Another block by the Angels.
And Eric, the timing of the blocks as well, especially in that third set, was something that they needed to boost their own confidence as well, aside from their own momentum. You can see that both teams really had a slow start.
Right. The Angels are the third best blocking team. Van Sickle with 26 now.
Yeah, Pauline Gaston now starting this fourth set, but she was blocked by Brooke in that sequence.
Coach Kung Fu Reyes really digging deep into his lineup, looking for a spark here. Nabor, another block. There's coverage for the crossovers. Aragalang down the line. Easy pickup and pass for Sabete. Van Sickle with the left hand. Laure again down the line. This one is on the line as we check in with Kyla Castillo.
Thank you so much, Eric. Now, Laure is staying patient, honoring the process, and trusting that time will only help her be the best version of herself. So, dinami-rami raw nga ng expectation sa kanya, mas pinipili niyang pagtuunan ng pansin ang self-improvement. Kwento niya, she always asks herself, how can I be more consistent? Bukod pa dyan, lagi niyang nire-remind ang kanyang sarili na this is my first year sa pros. Okay lang na hindi agad magaling. Ganon din naman daw sa UST. Kaya naman naniniwala siya na darating din ang panahon. Ang panahon na makikita sa performance niya kung paano siya pinagtibay ng mga pagsubok dito sa pros. This fourth set is definitely gonna be a test of character for Laure and the Chery Tiggo Crossovers. Petro Gazz is just a set away from bagging the bronze. Can Chery regroup and catch up? Catch the PVL games live in HD when you download the Pilipinas Live app, available for only 149 pesos per month. Now back to you, Eric and Jamie.
Kyla, 12 points for Laure. Zacarandang with a gorgeous running attack here.
No, she's finally successful in that running attack going down the line.
Caitlin Viray on your screens. Former Flying Titan. Now turned spectator. Watching your former team battle it out against the Cool Smashers for the gold medal. 3-all. There's Alina Bicar sitting by Caitlin Viray. Bicar was the starting setter for the crossover. She's not seeing action, obviously not even in the lineup today. Cheng to Phillips. Nice block by Carandang, giving the Angels a taste of their own medicine. Sabete hits it wide.
And the bump set was also nearing the antenna. Sabete forcing that down the line, but you can see the frustration on her face as well. Right intention, though, coming from Sabete.
First lead in set number 4 for the crossovers. But short-lived advantage after that service fault by Nabor. 4-all. MJE Phillips, 9 points. 3 of those coming from blocks. Would have been a gorgeous play, but Laure sent it wide and long.
Slow start for the Chery Tiggo Crossovers.
2-point run for the Angels. Nice serve.
Serve.
Yeah, it's an ace.
Yep. And we knew that serve will drop. Just touching above the tape.
Phillips has outblocked and out-aced the entire crossovers team. There's a timeout, a very early one for Coach Kung Fu Reyes.
Sa totoo lang. Unang-una, wala na sa tono yung quick. Ibabato ng tres. Binato ng tres, itatapon. Pagbalik dito sa kabila, error ulit. Guys, laro nang hindi nag-iisip yan. Laro nang hindi nag-iinsay yan. Laro nang ngayon lang nagkita-kita. Hindi naman tayo ganyan. FYI. In system naman yung ginagawa natin. Bakit kung ano yung iniinsayo, yan ang ginagawa niya dito? Di ba?
Let's go!
Right, konting pride ba? Hindi kailangan punta dito dahil sa wala.
Ay, laban natin! Chery! Ay, laban na!
Coach Kung Fu on point with everything that he said in that timeout. We all know the Chery Tiggo Crossovers. We've seen a lot of sparks here for them in this conference, but you want to end on a high here, Eric.
Laure cross court, dug by Van Sickle. Sabete. EJ Laure with a dig in the back row. Aragalang. Phillips passing. Janelle Chang chasing it down. Good job avoiding the net touch. Sabete on an off-speed hit right in front of Jen Yerba to 10 or make that 11 points now for Jonas Sabete.
And you know, Eric, this is probably the second digging error we're seeing from Jen Yerba. She can usually get those difficult attacks from Brooke Van Sickle, but this is what Coach Kung Fu is saying. You have to think with your movements, and that attack wasn't even the strongest.
Great save by Phillips. Back row for Van Sickle. It's an off-speed. Nabor with an easy pass. Nierva will set it. They go to Ea Laure. Why not? Ea Laure with 13.
That is a much-needed side out for the Chery Tiggo Crossovers. Another beautiful bump set coming from Jen Yerva. But Brooke a bit too forward in defense.
5 serving 7. Bad pass.
A rare error coming from Brooke Van Sickle.
So that is the first ace of the Crossovers in the entire match. Back-to-back points for Ea Laure, and it's a 1-point game. Chance to tie. Much better pass from Van Sickle. Remy Palma sends it wide. Was there a block touch? Nope. So 3 straight points scored by the Crossovers. We are tied at 7. Third deadlock of the set.
Nice serve.
Short pass. Sabete retakes the lead from the Crossovers, which sends us to our first technical timeout. Angels up by 1 against the Crossovers, set number 4. Angels up by 1 against the Crossovers. Set number 4, they're also up 2 sets to 1 against the Crossovers in this battle for 3rd place. And coming up in minutes from now, we have the gold medal match. Pool Smashers and the Flying Titans. A rematch of the 2nd All-Filipino Conference Finals. And Pool Smashers going for their 8th championship. This is their 10th finals appearance, so very great performance by the Cool Smashers. Flying Titans are going to be in their 2nd finals, hoping for a better finish in the 2nd they picked up in the 2nd All-Filipino Conference. Sabete on the cut shot.
That's a lucky attack coming from Jonas Sabete with the help of the net, of course. But EJ Laure actually not in the right defensive spot.
Angels back up by 2. Not for long after that service fault by Puntillas. Her first. Coach Koji Tsuzurabara got tape all over that earpiece. Robbie keeps falling off. Chang. Sabete off the block. Nice dig in the back row coming from Ea Laure. And EJ Laure in the scramble scores a point.
So this is good timing for EJ Laure to be injected in this match. They need her offensive style, just touching the hands of Janelle Chang. But sometimes when you're in motion for defense, the block actually delays your own reaction time. But Remy Palma going for that short running attack, much needed in the scoring department here. Janelle Chang knowing who to set at the right time. That is a one-hand set coming from Janelle.
5 points for Rem Palma. Sabete will sit down. Chamzon will return. Angels up by 1. Ooh. Service fault for Nicole Chamzon, her first of the match. Aragalang, 7 points so far. Nice serve. Palma picked up in the back row again by A. Laure. EJ attacking. Chang all the way out to Van Sickle with the left hand. A. Laure. And miscommunication. Nabor, Gaston. Nobody picking it up.
This is not the usual we're seeing from the Chery Tiggo Crossovers. A lot of unforced errors that can be controlled.
So Gaston will sit down. Abi Maraño is back in. Angels, they led by as many as 3 points. Right now, they're only up by 1. Oh, that's on the line.
Yep.
Service ace for Palma, her 6th point and her first ace.
Sharp serve coming from Palma. It actually did look like it was sailing outside, but those are the tricky serves, Eric, that just drop in front of the line.
Short pass coming from EJ Laure. She gets it back. Blocked by MJ Phillips.
I mean, Eric, the crossovers need to be mindful. They need to understand that when MJ Phillips is in the front row, you cannot be too predictable with your offense. She's known for her blocking, and it has been working in this 4th set and even the set prior.
4th block for Phillips. She is the 3rd player in double digits in scoring with 11 already. Galang back row into the net. This is now the biggest lead of the Angels at 4 points.
Also, the set coming from Jasmine was a bit too low, but it's the right idea. She wants to switch up her offense. It's being a bit too predictable coming from the left pin.
Coach Kung Fu Reyes very concerned now. They're in a must-win situation in order to extend this game number 1 of a best-of-3 matchup in the battle for bronze. Maraño scores her 3rd point.
3 points, that is quite too low to think that we're already in this 4th set here, Eric. Jasmine Nabor needs to add more to the offensive patterns here of the Chery Tiggo Crossovers.
EJ Laure, only 1 point so far. Van Sickle with a push against 2 blockers. Tough save. Oh, and A. Laure on an off-system play knocks it in for her 15th point of the game.
And there was also no block from the Petro Gazz Angels. Let's take a look. Hitting practice for A. Laure in that sequence.
Crossovers looking for a 2-point run to get within 1. Chang to Van Sickle. Off the block and outside. Brooke Van Sickle now with 29.
You can see the Petro Gazz Angels not wanting to give any confidence to the Chery Tiggo Crossovers, but knowing that Brooke Van Sickle is still in the front row, do expect Janelle Chang to constantly feed her the ball.
A. Laure got it.
This is another down-the-line attack for A. Laure. Finding that open space, also perfect receive from her as well. Jamson not ready for that attack.
Good pass by Barbon. Van Sickle. Ooh. Anything she hits turns into a point. Now 30 big points for Brooke Van Sickle. Second technical timeout. Angels up by 2 against the Crossovers. Back here inside the Smart Araneta Coliseum, and that is what is coming up next. Game number 1, a best of 3 gold medal match between the Cool Smashers and the Flying Titans. You see more vividly now colors of the fans in attendance. And I'm assuming we're going to hit somewhere around 18,000 today.
That's right.
We had 17,000 plus in that playoff between the Angels and the Flying Titans. Three-point lead for Van Sickle and the Angels. Their biggest lead was 4. Aya, that's outside. And
Calls for a check ball.
no challenge.
Yep.
It seems.
That's the right intention coming from Aya, going for that sharp cross-court attack.
And lead us back to 7 for the Angels. Nabor kneeling set. Aya Laure trying to go down the line. Tempiatura pops it up. Pontillas with a nice tip straight to the fingertips of Nabor. Nabor will attack and get blocked. Coverage by Galang. Aya Laure, yes!
And Eric, we see that the down-the-line attacks are successful so far for the Chery Tiggo Crossovers. That pivot in her body. Janelle Cheng not ready for that down the line.
And you like it. Aya Laure experimenting cross-court, down the line, you know, making the defense of the Angels guessing.
They need it.
Pontillas. Dug. Kept alive by Duremdes. Here comes Barbon in the back row for the Angels. Sabete attacking. Coverage in the back row by EJ Laure. Here comes Aya Laure down the line again. It's wide this time. Coach Kung Fu will challenge. Is it ball in, ball out, or block touch? Block
touch.
All right.
Yep.
Crossovers need a successful challenge here and need to win this set in order to stay alive in game number 1 of this best of 3 as well. Battle for bronze. All-Filipino Conference of the PVL. Crossovers only podium finish was the championship in the 2021 Open Conference. They have not finished any better than 4th ever since.
Let's see if there's a block touch.
Tough to tell. I mean, did that pinky finger wiggle? No.
No block touch. Challenge unsuccessful for the Crossovers.
And it is now back to a 4-point lead for the Angels. 18-14, only 1 challenge remaining for Coach Reyes and only 1 timeout remaining. Phillips, big lift off the bench in the first set. Overpass on the dig by Van Sickle. Chance ball here for the crossovers, and they take advantage. Plus, there's a net touch on Palma as well.
The Chery Tiggo Crossovers slowly crawling here in this fourth set. Combination play ran by Jasmine Nabor. But yes, Eric, there was a net touch coming from Remy Palma.
3-point game. Pontillas against two blockers. Yeah, it's going to be a block on EJ Laure.
Take a look at that replay. Yes, perfect press coming from EJ.
Second point for EJ Laure. Timeout for Coach Koji Tsuzurabara. His 4-point lead is down to 2.
Be quick or time offense. A quick position 4.
Sige. Huwag kang manggigil. 3-2. Okay.
One catch go. One catch. Keep the time. Jonah, your work.
Tingnan muna yung kamay. Huwag mo bitawan yung bola.
It's okay. Be catch. It's okay. Now, she can jump those today. She can. It's okay. Be catch. High ball. It's okay.
Hey, Petro Gazz Angels!
There's Sir Ricky Palou, president of Sports Vision, the team behind the PVL and Spikers Turf. 16 serving 18. Blocked by Carandangon Palma. Sabete. And it's going to be
4 touches.
4 touches. And Erlinda Eusebio, our first referee, explaining to Palma, he touched you twice already.
Number 9, magpagtao. Hindi, number 9, kay Ray. Bawat tumama dito. Tapos dalawa pa, kaya 4. Nagtanong lang.
All right, no contest from Rem Palma after she got the explanation. She figured it out. So after being down by 4 points, crossovers are back in it. Only a 1-point game.
Good serve.
Short pass from Barbon. Sapete against two blockers. It's outside. Off the block. So Sapete side out. Back to a 2-point cushion for the Angels.
Now that is a smart play coming from Sabete. The bump set was actually a bit too tight for her liking. But talk about court awareness, knowing where you are.
19 serving 17. Aragalang. Cheng. Sabete again. 4 touches. Wow.
It's another 4 touches coming from the Angels, where now Chery Tiggo is just down by 1.
Haven't seen many of those kinds of calls when your team is on offense.
Yes.
It's usually
Consecutively as well.
yeah, usually a defensive team committing more of these 4 touches. So back to a 1-point game. Van Sickle passes. Sabete through the double block, kept alive by Maraño. Back row hit. Dig by Van Sickle. Van Sickle, her version of a back row. That's Nabor with a dig. Galang. Cheng with the first touch. Barbon sets it up for Sabete. It's an off-system play. Robles picking it up. EJ Laure blocked and outside. Last touch, Angels. We are tied at 19.
Now the Chery Tiggo Crossovers are now alive in this 4th set. Beautiful pickups coming from Cesar Robles on that cross court. But now the blocking of the Petro Gazz Angels is not working in their favor.
EJ Laure with 3 points, all scored, by the way, here in set number 4. Overpass by Brooke Van Sickle. Chance to take the lead. Aragalang flying in, and she puts the crossovers on top by 1. 20-19.
Aragalang with her 8th point of the match. High hands, high set, above that block of Remy Palma.
Speaking of Palma, Palma will sit down. Casey Galdones is back in the game. Sabete off the block, and There's a net touch
Net
as well.
touch, yep. And that would have been the point of
Could have been, yeah. It was still in.
taking
And
that
in
block.
fact, Barbon was picking it up from behind.
Yep.
So the Angels now are playing catch-up. They tie the game at 20. Sabete with 14. Good pass. Nabor. Maraño gets it through the block of Galdones. Crossovers back up by 1.
Nabor now fielding in the middle blockers here. Galdones unable to block that quick attack of Abby Maraño. They do need this boost of momentum. But Mylene Pad is now in. There's currently no setter at the moment.
Well, that's got to be Aya Laure. She used to be a setter back in high school. In fact, she used to be the best setter. Van Sickle knocks it in off the block of Pad and Maraño. 31 for Van Sickle.
Her usual production going above the 20 mark, but Brooke, so much speed, so much explosiveness in her attack.
This is the biggest output for Van Sickle against the Crossovers. In their first meeting, she scored 21. Or make that 27, and then 21 in their semifinal matchup. Nabor is back in the game. EJ Laure kept alive by Brooke Van Sickle. Back row attack from Sabete. Nierva pops it up. EJ again, this time into the net. And the Angels go on top by 1.
This is the closest we've seen so far in this match, Eric.
Yep.
But take a look at this.
Yeah.
The reaction time of Brooke. But EJ trying to go for that sharp cross court.
The closest set since the first, after the 2 lopsided
Good set.
sets. Good block against Van Sickle. EJ Laure again. Sabete pops it up. Van Sickle. Why not? Brooke Van Sickle with 32.
Off the block, Janelle Chang, knowing who has the hot hands of her squad. Brooke Van Sickle, ever so reliable.
And Coach Kung Fu will burn his final timeout. They're down by 2, and the Angels 2 points away from winning game number 1.
Sorry. Pang-break. Basta wag iiwanan yung kasama natin, ha? Kailangan lang natin ng coverage dyan. Tagayin nyo na lang. Sige.
Ate, pabuti natin itong fix set. Ate, laban tayo. Tara! Chery! Go, ate!
And you can hear the eagerness from the Crossovers. Ate, wag natin pahabayaan to. They really want to come back here and take this to a set 5. They're only down by 2.
And Eric, you know, a lot of ups and downs, roller coaster ride for both squads, but all the lessons that have been learned, this is where it needs to be applied now towards this latter part in the PVL.
So Casey Galdones will serve. Nabor. Maraño. That pass no good for Pontillas. Maraño with 5 points. 3 coming in set number 4.
There's smart plays coming from Jasmine.
And this time a timeout. The last one for Coach Koji Tsurabara. Let's listen to the Angels.
Everyone, understand. Block. Everyone, cover. Make sure make a this form. Everyone, cover. Understand. Maybe GB mark the angle mark. GB angle mark. Take care, it's okay. Don't use the jump post. It's okay. What priority? Yeah, this is wrong.
Petro Gazz Angels!
All right, they need a couple more points to win game number 1. And game number 1, most important of all the games, because
That's right.
depending on the result of the gold medal match, the battle for third,
course.
best of 3 could end abruptly. and will be determined by points. Could pass despite the long serve. Van Sickle. What a save in the back row by EJ Laure. Little confusion. Chance ball for the Angels. Van Sickle. Oh, what a block! Terrific defense at the net, and Abby Maraño is fired up, and so are the fans of the Crossovers.
And Eric, just the timing of that block of Maraño. Usually it's a sure point coming from Brooke. You can see that the Angels were not even ready to cover.
2-point run for the Crossovers. We're tied at 23. Good pass. Chang back to Van Sickle. Blocked again. Van Sickle will try again. And she sends it outside. There is a block touch. Called by Erlinda Eusebio. No, there's a net touch called against the Crossovers. And there was supposed to be a challenge. So Coach Kung Fu was ready to make the challenge, but EJ Laure saying don't bother. So it's match point Angels. Van Sickle with 33. Janelle Cheng serving for the match. Look at the eyes of Aya Laure. Nabor. Aya. Got it. Match point save.
Aya Laure on fire. She has the hot hands. Beautiful bump set coming from Jasmine Nabor. Just touching the hands of Aiza. You see also, Eric, an open space in that block.
Very determined Aya Laure. After that hit, Abby Maraño serving. Good pass again. Van Sickle. EJ Laure popping it up. Watch out. Look out for Aya Laure. Back-to-back points. Aya Laure. And she puts the Crossovers at set point.
And Eric, if the Angels have Brooke, the Chery Tiggo Crossovers have Aya Laure. This is the most consistent we've seen her all conference long, knowing when to score at the right time.
She is not called Slaya for nothing.
Yep.
Van Sickle to save a set point. Got it! 34 for Brooke Van Sickle. And both teams without a timeout. Coach Reyes can only smile at this point.
The elevation of that attack behind Abby Maraño. But Eric, Brooke is now in the back row. Sharp serve.
Aya Laure. Off the block, it's outside. Oh, the Stars have come out to play here is set number 4. Both teams going exclusively to their #1 attackers.
Which is the right thing to do, of course.
And they have stepped up. Coach Koji Tsuzuramara can only watch right now with 0 timeouts remaining. Sapete, yes! 2 straight points for the Angels, and they are back at match point.
What an attack, Eric, coming from Jonas Sabete against Aragalang.
Well, Aragalang was in an island. She was all alone right there. Second match point for the Angels. Good pass. Aya Laure. Yes! Another match point save. Aya Laure all of a sudden with 21. 10 points here in set number 4.
Aya Laure on fire. Jasmine Nabor with that jump set. Galdon is not even there for that block, and Cheng not being able to first contact that one.
Another set point for the Crossovers. Overpass. And irrecoverable for Jasmine Nabor. We're tied at 27.
Love the hustle coming from the Chery Tiggo Crossovers. And that dig coming from Buding.
Substitution for Coach Koji Tsuzuramara. He will have 2 setters on the floor. Chi Saed coming in to replace Aiza Puntillas. Let's see how this experiment pans out for the Angels. Good pass by Aya. Tarandang. Sayed passes Cheng to Sabete. Block. Van Sickle. Cheng will go back to Jonas Sabete. Hey, a nice dig from Aya Laure. Here comes EJ. Tempiatura pops it up. Sayed. Sabete sends it over. Chance to attack once again. Aragalang against a single blocker. Crossovers. This is set point number 3.
Crucial moments for the Chery Tiggo Crossovers. Jasmine Nabor going to their vet spiker on the right pin. Aragalang. The classic finish going for that cross court.
Cheng out to Sabete. Block. And that's it. From down 4 points, the Crossovers come back. They faced a match point, but they did not falter. What resilience. Aya Laure saving several match points. And then what a finish. Aragalang delivering the killer blow in an extended set number 4. And the Crossovers win it by 2, 29-27. Set number 5 coming up right after these. What a bounce back for the Crossovers in set number 4, facing match point. They win 29-27 to send this to a 5th and final set. Let's check the highlights of that very exciting 4th set.
Well, Eric, it came down to the latter moments of that 4th set. Aya Laure, Aragalang coming alive with the blocking, attacking over the block as well. Aya Laure on fire coming from that left pin, whereas the blocking of the Petro Gazz Angels were unable to solve that problem. Brooke Van Sickle was in the front row towards that last part of the 4th set, but the Chery Tiggo Crossovers made a way. They were able to silence her in that 4th set. Now, take a look here at the attacks on your screens. An even 16 coming from both squads. It could have gone either way, Eric. The blocks, 4 from Chery Tiggo, 3 from the Angels. But, Eric, we did talk about that in this pregame. Lessons have been learned. Lessons are now applied coming into this 5th set. And this is no surprise to us. We've seen how these players, we've seen how these teams have contended.
Set number 5, Sabete, Laure. And it's going to be fun to see who will finally get game number 1 of this battle for bronze in the All-Filipino Conference of the PVL. Galdones in the starting lineup for the Angels, while it's the same starting lineup for the Crossovers.
Now, Eric, now that we're in the 5th set, it's 0-0 again.
Yep. It's a race to 15. Yerva with a nice pass. She's been passing, digging so well. That block falls on the line against Aya Laure.
This is a strong start now for the Petro Gazz Angels. Take a look at that location of that set. But Aya Laure touching the hands of Cheng in that sequence.
Nice hit coming from Abby Maraño. She's now found her form. 7 points from Maraño.
These are gutsy plays coming from Nabor. High risk, high reward. We have been saying this all throughout this match. Whoever wins this match is the team that will maximize their middle blockers.
Speaking of middle blockers, there's the push coming from MJ Phillips, but Jasmine Nabor on touch number 1 sends it across on a spike.
We all know Jasmine Nabor to be one of the offensive setters here in the PVL. Maiza almost getting that touch.
Well, prior to becoming a setter for National University, she used to be an attacker, a wing spiker. Cheng to Van Sickle with the left hand. Easy over for the crossovers. Phillips, yes!
Yep. MJ has been silent in terms of her attacking, I would say, Eric, but she was able to break that block, that loose block of Chery Tiggo.
Only 2 points for Phillips in set number 4. Her most productive set was off the bench in the first set, where she scored 5. 2-all. Running attack for Zacarandang, single lady blocked by Brooke Van Sickle, who now has 35 points.
That's perfect timing coming from Brooke Van Sickle on that running attack of Za. Let's see how Nabor will change her strategy here moving forward.
Cheng with 7 points, 3 aces, make that 4 aces for Janelle Cheng, 8 points in total. Timeout for Coach Kung Fu Reyes. They're down by 2 early in set number 5.
Bigyan mo ng magandang pwesto. Kaya dito kayo, dikit-dikit kayong ganyan, oh. Kanina pa yan, eh. Usag tayo dito. Bukan nyo lang para maganda yung space. Para mag-isip. Para walang hesitation kung kukunin nyo, hindi. Para identify nyo agad, akuin nyo na lang. Masakit kasi yung mga napakasimpleng error dahil dyan. Pwestuhan nyo muna na maayos. Okay, o dalawa. Tagayin nyo lang, pasa lang yan.
Let's go! Walang bibigyan dito!
The Chery Tiggo Crossovers need to take care. They need to be more careful because every point has so much weight, has so much value. But let's see how this will unfold, Eric.
For serving 2, Janelle Cheng. Nabor passes. Laure with a push. Easy pickup for Sabete Van Sickle. That's dug in the back row by EJ Laure. Here comes Aya Laure. Saved with a chop by Sabete Van Sickle again. EJ Laure with her second straight dig. Aya, one-handed dig by Sabete is no good.
You can see Aya Laure is continuously, Eric, going for that down the line. Sabete was able to get that first touch, but in this second sequence, unable to solve that problem.
Aya Laure with her biggest output against the Angels with 22 today. She had 15 in the preliminary round. That's a bad pass. And then 15 as well in the semifinals.
Just the timing also of that miscommunication between Cheng and Phillips. Very rare to see that as well, especially in the 5th set.
2-point run for the crossovers. Coach Koji with a timeout.
Good catch, good catch, good catch. Next one. Money, smile.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go!
Don't do that. Look out, hurrah. Opponent spike. More slowly, slowly, slowly. Slowly. Okay.
Hey, Petro Gazz Angels!
It is a neck-and-neck battle here in this 5th set. The score is 4-all for the Chery Tiggo Crossovers and the Petro Gazz Angels. heated moments, crucial moments at that.
Jasmine Nabor serving outside, stopping the 2-point run in the crossovers, and the Angels back up by 1.
Nabor a bit iced after that timeout.
Van Sickle, 35 points. Not a good pass from EJ Laure. Here comes Aya with a push, and that falls short.
Easy pickups here for the Petro Gazz Angels, but there will be a challenge called. A net touch challenge for the Chery Tiggo Crossovers.
Well, nice of you to catch up with us. If you're watching on Pilipinas Live, it's the battle for 3rd place, or battle for bronze in the All-Filipino Conference. Crossovers looking for their 2nd podium finish in team history. Their last podium was the championship in the 2021 Open Conference in Baccarat. Meantime, their opponents, the Angels, they've had much more success. Looking for their 7th podium, or make that 6th podium finish today. And last year, this same conference, they finished in 3rd place.
Let's take a look at this challenge first. If there is a net touch, it's no net touch, so challenge is unsuccessful for the Crossovers.
Coach Reyes, 1 challenge remaining, also 1 timeout remaining. For the Angels, 2 challenges left and 1 timeout remaining. Back to a 2-point lead for the Angels. Aya Laure down the line, Tempiatura popping it up. Sabete, Nabor with a pickup. Aya Laure again. Brooke Van Sickle with a gorgeous dig. Phillips, yes!
Lucky point for MJ Phillips, but EJ Laure trying to pop that one up in that sequence.
Great scramble defensively and then turning it to offense. Phillips with 13. Biggest lead for the Angels at 3 points.
Good serve.
Nabor chasing it down. Aragalang against 2 established blockers. Gets it across. Phillips again. Back-to-back points for MJ Phillips. She has 15. Take another look.
An 8-quick attack coming from MJ Phillips. Aya not there for that block, but much needed side out for the Angels.
And the Angels have doubled the output of the crossovers. 8-4 is our current tally in set number 5. Let's check in with Kyla Castillo.
Thank you so much, Eric. Now, Aya Laure has been phenomenal this game. She is the personification of tapang. During their huddle, she can be heard rallying her teammates. Laban. Ito na yon. Ilaban natin. Patience now will be their bread and butter. This deciding set, the same way na chinaga nila para makarating dito. On the side of Petro Gazz Angels, pinaalala ni Rem Palma sa kanyang teammates kung gaano kahalaga ang diskarte. Dagdag pa niya, isipin na kaya, huwag bitawan ang paniniwala sa sarili. Puso at pure hustle ang ipinakita ng dalawang team na ito throughout the conference and especially today when it mattered the most. But only one will emerge victorious, and that's the team who wants it more. This report is brought to you by the Pilipinas Live app. Download and subscribe now for only 149 pesos per month. Now back to you, Eric and Jamie.
All right, thanks very much, Kyla. Another kill for the Angels to extend their lead to 5, and now Coach Reyes will burn his final timeout after this 5-point run of the Angels.
Galing sa all four. 5 na agad ang lamang nila. Paano tayo magre-recover ngayon? Tsagayin nyo kasi nanalo tayo kanina ng 4th set kasi tinatsaga natin. Ngayon yung bola, buhay pa, bigla tayong tumitigil. So yun ang nagiging problema ngayon. Dati na ando na tayo, nasabi na natin lahat eh. The word itself, yung tsaga, doon tayo nanalo. Tsagayin lang ulit natin. Go, go, go! Ano yan, lahat na, nandiyan na lahat. Tsagayin nyo na lang.
All boils down to this end game, being disciplined towards the latter part. It is the 5th set, and it's only up to 15. We did see A great performance in that fourth set for the Chery Tiggo Crossovers. But what matters now, what matters is what you do, the in-game adjustments. Well, let's see, Eric, how this will unfold.
Well, that was the final timeout for Coach Kung Fu Reyes. He hopes something good will come out of it. Ea Laure, that is going to be wide, but there is a touch. So side out for the Crossovers.
It's a game face for Ea Laure. Another combination play on this first attack by Jasmine.
23 points, Ea Laure. They're still down by 4. Pushed by Phillips. Nabor picks it up, so Ea Laure will play setter. Aragalang with a push and the point.
That moves coming from Galang from the right pin this time. You can see that she changed tempo in her deceiving approach. Barbon not ready for that.
So 2 straight points scored here by the Crossovers. Cheng had to chase it down. Sapete off-speed hit. Easy pickup for Duremdes. Aragalang again. This time turned away by Sapete.
Perfect timing on that block of Sabete. Perfect press as well. One-on-one battle here. Aragalang could have gone for that sharp cross-court attack, avoiding her hands.
Only a 2-point run allowed by the Angels against the Crossovers. That's going to be an overreach on Galdones.
Yep.
Meantime, no runs for the Angels after that error against Casey Galdones. Carandang will sub out. Ces Robles is in. Robles, a good server, although she has no aces yet. In fact, the team only has 1 ace this entire match. Oh, there it is.
Speaking of.
Right on cue. Just the second ace for the Crossovers. And the second point of Robles.
But Eric, the timing of this ace, and sometimes a play can actually change the own fortune of your momentum.
And now Coach Koji Tsurabara burning his final timeout. We'll listen in.
Hey, this case, everyone, you have to smile. Mama! It's okay, simple, simple, simple. It's okay, be catch. Today, side spiker, 60%. 60%. Press the side spiker. Toss, 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 toss.
Hey, Petro Gazz Angels!
See the Chery Tiggo Crossovers slowly gaining their momentum here in this 5th set, whereas the Petro Gazz Angels need to take advantage of this 2-point lead.
And right now, momentum just maybe partially with the Crossovers right now, especially after that ace by Ces Robles. 8 serving 10. Much better pass from Barbon. Sabete got it.
High hands coming from Jonas Sabete, but Ea Laure trying to go for that first contact, but she was there. She was in the right position in that sequence. But Sabete going for that long ball.
Nabor to EJ Laure, and she answers right back with a kill.
Timely attacks coming from EJ. She's now successful in this cross-court attack. Earlier, she was going for that sharp cross-court and went in the net, but she's now redeeming herself in the sequence.
Speaking of sequences, another sequence without a setter for the Crossovers. Nabor is out. Combination play, a block against Sabete. And Barbon able to send it across on an easy over. EJ Laure dug by Brooke Van Sickle. And pushes outside for Galdones.
This set was a bit too low to the liking of Galdones, but mid-air you have to be quick in making those decisions. But we have Ivy pairs now setting stage here.
Meantime, for the crossovers, Ea Laure is still the setter. And nice hit, Sabete, now with 21.
Much needed side out for the Petro Gazz Angels. Breaking that block of Abby Maranyo.
Meantime, Argalang will sit down and a setter, a true setter is coming in. Joyme Cagande for the crossovers. 2-point game. Nicole Tiamzon coming in to serve for the Angels. Cagande at the paat. Yes.
This double substitution came off the bench. They know what's needed now here in this fifth set. Instant impact from Mylene Paat.
Paat with 8 points. And it's back to a 1-point game. But right now the crossovers cannot afford to swap side outs, as they're still playing catch up. Brooke Van Sickle, and right on cue, back-to-back points for the crossovers to tie the game at 12.
Mylene Paat, the insertion of Mylene Paat, very, very timely for the crossovers. But you can see, Eric, there's still no support on that coverage for Brooke.
Perez out to Brooke Van Sickle. 36 points for Van Sickle, and Angels back up by 1.
So much smoke in that lethal attack from Brooke Van Sickle. Just avoiding that block of Chery.
Caldones service in, overpass. Good job there initially by Cagande to keep it alive, but it went over, and MJ Phillips punishing them for the error. Jen Nerva is on one knee. She's trying to get up. She seems to be okay. Well, it looks like she tweaked her left ankle, so she's getting some help as she walks it off and goes to the bench. So Buding Doremdes is in. And nice to see she's able to put some pressure on it. Jen Yerba. And now it's 2 match points for the Angels. Bad pass, and that is it. An anticlimactic finish, especially after the injury to Jen Yerba, but a big win nevertheless for the Angels.
Petro Gazz Angels, we all know this squad is full of veterans. Their experience was needed in this fifth set, but Caldones finishing it off with the ace on Ea Laure. Just the timing as well, coming together, coming alive here. Great production, great performance coming from the Angels.
3 players in double digits for the white shirts, led by Brooke Van Sickle with 36. Meantime, the red shirts of the crossovers, only 2 players in double digits, led by Ea Laure with 23, and Aragalang picking up 11 points. And after 5 grueling sets, Jonas Sapete and company pick up game number 1 in this best of 3 in the battle for bronze, and that is the official tally.
And Eric, everyone was able to help in the scoring department, whether it's from the left pin, the right pin. They came together as a team, and they were able to succeed in clinching this first win for that Battle of Bronze.
Brooke Van Sickle, aside from the 36 points, or part of the 36 points, 1 ace, 4 blocks.
And Brooke, keep in mind, 36 points, 31 of 63 attacks, a 49% attack efficiency. I mean, that lethal weapon coming from the left, and very consistent at that. She has a lot of attempts, but You can see that she performed in this match.
Brooke Van Sickle right now with Kyla Castillo. Kyla?
That's right, Eric. I'm now with our best player of the game from Petro Gazz Angels, Brooke Van Sickle, with 36 points from 31 attacks, 4 blocks, and 1 ace. Wow, what a performance, Brooke. Now, this conference, it has been a roller coaster of a journey for you guys. Now, what does this win mean for you?
Hey, I'm just happy that my team, I'm super proud of them to be able to bounce back after coming off 2 losses. And Chery Tiggo, fantastic team. They did a very amazing job, and they took us all the way to 5 sets, neck and neck. But I'm very proud, and congrats to everyone.
Yes, now, earlier, Chery Tiggo was able to catch up and extend this to a 5-setter. What adjustments did you make in order to finish this in your favor?
I think it's... I would just say, I feel like we controlled our emotions a little bit better than usual. We cleaned with the passing for sure. Our passing was a little struggling at one point, but I'm proud of our team, for bouncing back and holding through.
Your teammates, as well as everyone here, your fans here in Araneta, are cheering you on. 36 points. What more can we expect from you and the rest of the Angels?
Yeah, hopefully we can, clinch the bronze. That's the goal. And, again, good job to Chery Tiggo. And thank you, PVL fans, for everyone supporting. You guys are a great crowd and everything. Love the energy, and you guys are amazing, and you make this experience so fun. And I know all the girls, every single team, every single player, they appreciate you guys dearly. So thank you so much.
All right, Brooke, anyone you want to greet and give a shout out to, go ahead.
Yeah, the Gas mates, thanks for being super loud. You guys are super supportive. Love your guys' energy, and just, again, PVL fans and my family.
And we're definitely going to see more of you, Brooke. So there you have it, Eric and Jamie, and everyone here in Araneta, our best player of the game, Brooke Van Sickle, with whopping 36 points. Now back to the panel.
All right, thank you, Kyla. Congratulations, Brooke Van Sickle. Like what Kyla mentioned, 36 points, her biggest output against crossovers so far.
And Eric, in that interview, Brooke mentioned she liked how her squad was able to control their emotions, and that's what it's all about. Your mind has to be much stronger than your emotions, and it did show in this match. When it came to the breaks of the game, if it did not go in their favor, they stayed composed.
Thanks to our director, Nick Earnshaw, for Kyla Castillo, my partner, Jamie La Victoria. I'm Eric Tepan. Stand by! Game number 1 of this best-of-3 gold medal match. Cool Smashers Flying Titans next, right here on Pilipinas Live.